Hello, my YouTube world. Today, I want to take you back to Long Island in the 19th century. And to do that, we can visit the Old Bethpage Village Restoration, where we have a museum which restores, preserves, and makes history come alive. And so basically, if you want to experience how life was like in the 1800s, this is the place to be. Now, I was super excited about this because it has been a long time since I visited this place, and now with this whole YouTube project thing going on, it finally gave me an excuse to stop by once again. Since I got a permit and went here on a day that it was officially closed to the public, I had the whole place to myself. And so we will begin kind of from the end, not from the beginning, since I did not enter from the typical ticket office place. Hence, we will go first through the Long Island Fair, where you can see like a carriage shed with some bays and horse-drawn carriages inside, along with even some older farm equipment as well. However, this area is used to host the Long Island Fair, usually in September. So I am hoping that this year I will have some time to visit the fair and I can share some of it with you on this channel. But the fair was first organized in 1842 and held almost every year under different names and in different locations. However, in 1970, the fair found its permanent place right here, where it stayed ever since. Therefore, the fair is around for, almost 185 years by now, bringing families together for entertainment and a celebration of harvest, as it would be back in the days. There is an exhibition hall, which is this beautiful building, which can also, by the way, be rented for various events like weddings, for instance. So if anyone is interested in like having a rustic style setting for a wedding, well, there's the place. Outside is the superintendent office, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is a original building from the fair that dates back to the 1800s. Certainly on the inside, it looks like it's frozen in time. But in this video, I will only be showing the village on the outside. And if I do show some of the homes on the inside, for instance, it will only be through windows, as all the buildings were locked when I was there because the grounds were, technically closed. And again, I had to get a special permit. I could have come back another day when the buildings were open and I would be able to show you everything, even on the inside as well. I had that option. However, I thought to myself that there's just too much to see, and I will honestly revisit this place in the future anyway. For instance, during the year, a lot of events are organized here for Halloween, Thanksgiving, and something called the Candlelight Evenings in December. During events such as these, the place becomes a living museum where there is 19th century music, people dress up, and you can really take a step back in time. It's just an amazing experience. So along with that, it would be nice to show you a bit more and how people lived and dressed in the 1800s. Therefore, anyone interested more, don't worry, I will definitely be revisiting this place and sharing more history. I guarantee, if you are not interested in history, I will change your mind at one point or another. But for now, let us take a peek in here to give you a bit of a preview, which is a livestock building, where we do have some carriages. Ooh, this one does not seem comfortable to sit on. But hey, at least there's a little bit of a back support. Carriages were actually pretty expensive back in the days. However, going into the 1800s, with Industrial Revolution picking up, factories and technology evolving quickly by then, they became cheaper, but also more complex with better suspensions and more comfort for the riders. For instance, check this one out in one of the barns. It looks pretty cool. Okay, so this is the livestock building, but there is no animals inside. So let me show you where some of them are kept when people are not around. In the back, we have the Powell House and farm. Originally, this land was their farm, which was acquired by Nassau County in 1960s with a vision of preserving what remained of the history of Long Island, and hence this place opened in 1970, where various buildings and structures were transported here from all over Long Island in order to be restored and preserved, what you will see in a moment basically. But the Powell House was already here and is the only original building in this location, I believe. And here also is where some of these animals hang out. I especially couldn't take my eyes off these three guys right here. Literally looked like young brothers messing around with one another. And then the third one jumps in with excitement like, oh, I want in on the action. They were messing around like this for a whole time I was walking around. Seemed like a fun crowd. And then there's this guy in the back. He did not seem too pleased with me, a bit annoyed, like, dude, we are closed, get that camera out of my face. But on the left is the Powell House, and you only see it a little bit like right here in the back. You don't see it from close up because I basically had like a temporary moment of insanity where I thought I'm actually recording something, but I really wasn't. I guess I forgot to hit the record button. Just one of those days. But on the right, we have a barn which came from a different farm. And it is really interesting to walk around and check out the different stalls for the animals. And even on the inside, there's a lot of interesting things as well. Okay, so let me take you to the village and show you the various homes from the 1800s. And our first home is this one, Cooper House, dating back to the beginning of the 1800s. Now, the cool thing about this is that this home was Peter Cooper's house, who was a very famous inventor. For instance, he built America's first steam locomotive in 1829. There is also Cooper Union College in Manhattan, and in fact many places are named after him. Next to it is the Lawrence House from 1820. So like I said, each home was transported here from different locations. And this one here was brought from the neighborhood of College Point in Queens. And take a look at this iron bench in front of the house. I love the details on this. Honestly, even today, a bench like this would be very pricey to buy. Behind these, there is a house and a shop of Louis Rich, who was a hat maker. Here is his home. And next to it is his shop, where there are many different types of hats on display inside. Walking in the back of these homes, you see another building which is right now in the process of restoration. And so let us now go all the way to the back where we have the Williams Farm and Carpentry Shop from around the 1860s. It was brought in from New Hyde Park. For some reason, I really like these stone steps leading to some of the homes. It reminds me of when I was a small kid and I traveled back to Poland and in Europe with my parents. In some smaller like villages, you still saw steps like these leading into these old pre-World War II homes. And it just kind of brings back some memories for me. Walking right here in the back of the property, all by myself, remember, with no one else around, you know what I began thinking about? Ghost stories and urban legends surrounding these buildings. That's right, there are a number of stories of people reporting something in the windows, strange noises, banging, or even feeling the presence of others while no one was there. Did I see or hear anything, you might ask? Well, no, but since it was about 9 o'clock in the morning and I did not have my morning coffee yet, even if there was a whole group of ghosts in front of me, it would probably annoy me more than scare me. I'm one of these people who need to smell the coffee first in the morning to really get me going. It's an addiction at this point. Okay, so now let's finally go to my favorite section of the village, which is roughly right here. Along the way, we do have 2 general stores and an inn. We have this first store from the 1840s, and as you see, you enter to the second floor, and the first floor is really used for like storage. From this side of the building, you see kind of a little bit more clearly that first floor and second floor. Across the street, we have the Leighton General Store from 1866. In between the stores themselves, we have a well, which you would use to lower a bucket attached to the rope and get some cold, crisp water. Or at least that is what you hope. But the truth is that in many places, the groundwater was contaminated due to human activity. Now, I am less familiar with the situation out on Long Island in the 1800s, but certainly places like Manhattan or Brooklyn had a serious problem with clean water by then. So you know what the answer many times was? Hard cider. Essentially alcoholic drink from fruits, especially apples. The truth is they generally were not that strong, hence even kids drank it. In fact, students in colleges were drinking it. The truth is, many times it was cleaner and safer to drink than even water, as the alcohol would kill many bacteria which caused serious illnesses like typhoid fever, for instance. Here we have the Noon Inn, restored to 1850s, and not just an inn, but also a bar. But next to it is something pretty interesting. Take a look at these 3 wagons hidden inside of the barn. The first one is, well, a little bit fancy because as you see below the seat, we have something that at least absorbs the shock as you are riding along. In the middle, we have like a sledge, which would be used on ice or snow, for instance, to carry wood, as is shown. And the third bay contains a carriage used to carry coffins. So there you go, something you do not see every day. We have a house which was owned by Richard Kirby, a tailor. And here is the house which was owned by William Benjamin, who was a congregational minister. There is even a schoolhouse, restored to the year 1845. You know, at least you know what I like about this? There are more windows in the classroom than even I have today. Finally, we have the Methodist Church from the 1850s. Honestly, Methodist denomination was pretty significant out on Long Island in the 1800s. Oh, also on the property, we have few examples of things like this. The outhouses. Toilets, basically. So as you see, it's not only interesting and educational out here, but it's also peaceful and rather relaxing. Oh dear Lord, the Germans are attacking again. A German tank, invented in 1810. Just kidding. In fact, 1810, there is no Germany yet. But this is awesome to see here. The reason for this tank is because next door we have another museum. Museum of American Armor. And this here is... Oh my goodness, if I get this wrong, the whole YouTube world will be like, are you even a historian? But I am fairly sure that this is the famous Tiger I, a German tank from World War II. A beast of a tank, but with serious issues, like for instance, really being over-engineered. But okay, but that is a topic for another video. Let's go back to our village. This little house is from 1815, and it is Dr. Searing's office, a physician. Nearby we have another house. This one is from 1853. Oh, and look, another outhouse. Wow, this one looks a lot better and more fancy. Only not to accidentally grab poison ivy for the toilet paper. And this one right here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is the oldest house on the property. And it dates back to the 1700s, a Dutch farmhouse. And there's also a barn next to it, which is also restored. There is also a small cemetery on the property as well, and it is a little bit separated from the homes themselves, so it does kind of give this feeling of walking a little bit away from like the village. But not that really far away from the cemetery is the last house I would like to show you, which is from the 1840s. Inside, a beautiful blue and white porcelain set. Therefore, as you see in this video, I mean, I kind of put it together very quickly, but there's truly a lot to see here. And the truth is, I did not even show you every single structure located here. So it is certainly a fantastic place to visit, especially if anyone, again, is interested in life from the 1800s. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure that at one point or another, I will once again include this location in a video, as it would be so worth showing you some of the events which take place here and seeing history truly come to life. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you shortly in some other random location here in New York. Until then, take care everyone. Bye-bye.